Remember back in the day when, things were easy on Instagram and, you could just go there and like do cool stuff and it would be fun and share pictures of your cats and all that stuff and it would work out really great. But then like things kept changing. I miss the good old days. And so, you know, I thought we would take an opportunity today because platforms are constantly evolving. And while I very firmly believe that we actually don't need to jump through hoops in order to keep up with all of the changes that are happening and all the trends, I do believe that every once in a while, it's good to revisit how you are using a profile and, make sure that the time and energy that you use on that profile on that platform is well spent. And so over the past month, one of the things that we've been working on here at Savvy Music Studio is that we've been working on optimizing our Instagram profile. So that is the topic of today. We are going to talk about how you can optimize your Instagram profile in 2023. And I'm going to give you very specific steps that you can take. They're simple. I'm going to walk you through them today. Steps that you can take to make sure that your profile really speaks to your ideal clients so that they can get a clear picture of who you are, what you do, and how that they can get in on working with you. So we're going to detail these steps. Like I said earlier, they're fairly simple. And for the most part, once these steps are finished, it's kind of like a set it and forget it kind of thing. Maybe revisit in like half a year, something like that. I actually really enjoyed some of the steps. I found them really fun because I got to play around on Canva. So I'll be talking about that a little bit today. So again, we're going to optimize our Instagram profiles. You can do this for your studios page, if you have an online music business, anything like that. That's what we're going to be walking through. So we're going to be doing a lot of screen sharing today. So if you were watching on Instagram, we're going to check and make sure that this is actually live for them because it looks like it is. Hey there, Jessica and Erica. If you're watching on Instagram and you don't see some of the special screen sharing stuff, you may want to hop on over to Facebook. And we're going to make sure that both of those are going. And I think I'm good. We're live in all the places. Hey there, Eden Castile is tuning in on YouTube. Lovely to see you, my friend. All right, so let's get into the goodness today. Before we do that, I just want to say hello. And if you are new here and you've never met me before, hello, my name is Sara Campbell. I am a business strategist, mindset, and marketing coach for independent music studio owners and online education experts, just like you. And so we are here live on Wednesdays to talk about those topics. We are going to talk about business strategies. We're going to talk about the mindsets we need in place in order to be a successful business owner. And we're going to talk about marketing because marketing's kind of my happy space. And I like helping people like you become more confident in their marketing efforts. So that's going to tie into our broadcast today. All right. So before I get ahead of myself, let's do a little intro music while I do some things behind the scenes. So I'll see you guys in like 15 seconds. We're back. So welcome. I see there are a lot of people joining in today. If you are tuning in, please be sure to say hello and to let me know where you're tuning in from today. And I would love to know, because this ties in with the topic of the day, if we are not already like connected on Instagram, please drop your Instagram handle down below so that we can connect and I can follow you and see all the cool things that you're doing in your business and your studio. So let's get to this. All right. Quick housekeeping here. I am going to be doing a lot of screen sharing. Just saying one more time for the Instagram people, if you're not seeing the screen sharing, you may want to hop over onto YouTube or over onto Facebook so you can see all of the things that I'm doing today because I spent a lot of time prepping this, y'all. It's going to be really cool. I hope. Fingers crossed that all of the screen sharing works so I can show you how to do things. We are going to be learning a lot of stuff today. So if you find something that is valuable and you want to share it with the audience, if you put the a hashtag takeaway and name what that takeaway is. I will be able to bring it up on the screen if you're joining live. If you are watching on the replay and you want to share your takeaways with me, that would be fabulous. I'll come back and have a conversation with you then on the replay. So welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to do all these things. YouTubers, hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. All right, housekeeping over. Boop. Okay, let's do this. We've got a lot of people tuning in. I'm going to take a moment to say hello since we are live, and that's part of the magic of doing a live broadcast. Hey, Eden, Cassandra, and Leishan are watching on YouTube. Love it. Amy Clovis is tuning in. Hey there, Susan. Hey there, Linda, Katie, Lisa, all the good people. And make sure to follow each other on Instagram because that's, the magic. That's where the magic happens. All right, so let's get to it. I want to be real honest that Instagram was something that I kind of ignored for a while. I used it for my studio, and I'm talking about let's say 6, 7 years, even 8 years ago, I was using it. I didn't see a lot of interaction on there. But I used it, right? I just was like, okay, I'll just keep putting things out there and we'll see what happens. Well, in the last couple of years, I've noticed, especially on our Savvy Music Studio Instagram account, we've had a lot more engagement over there. And so I actually now see it as a platform that we really want to make sure is optimized because I get a lot of people who DM me there. I get a lot of comments on there. And so looking at that engagement and the increase in engagement has told me that, hey, this is a platform that I need to pay more attention to. And so in the last couple of months, my amazing VA, Caitlin, and I have been working on optimizing our Instagram profile. So it took a little bit of digging to figure out exactly what we wanted to do. So today I'm going to walk you through basically what we did. And I hope that this is going to be really valuable for you. The reason I'm doing this, the reason that I'm doing this is I do believe that Instagram is a really valuable platform for music teachers because think about the demographics that are on there, right? Especially if you are teaching younger kids, their parents are using Instagram. Side note, I've been told this by my students before, and let me know if you have heard this. Facebook is officially for, wait for it, old people. What? Thank you, 16-year-old student that told me that. But I'm not saying that you won't get attraction on Facebook. I still think Facebook and Instagram are probably my top 2 platforms that I would suggest music studios use. But a lot of studios I have found in the one-on-one clients and the group coaching clients that I'm working with, they're getting more and more engagement on Instagram. Julie says it right here, right? She says, I have much more traffic on my Instagram. And I'm assuming that you mean it's rather than Facebook, right? You have more traffic over there. So we're going to walk through 5 different things today. Before we do that, I do oh, that's so funny, Christine. I remember when I joined Facebook and there were no adults on it, right? What happened? Welcome to the old people platform. Okay, so I'm feeling spunky today, y'all. Just hang. I do have show notes set up for you today, and I also have an invitation to an upcoming workshop. So if you are on Facebook, drop the word optimize down below. Instagram, hopefully it should work for you as well. And on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, look up in the top of the live chat. There is a pinned post there where there is a link that you can click on to get a hold of the show notes from today. So a quick recap of what we're doing and also information about the upcoming workshop that's going to be happening on February 1st. It is an Instagram workshop and I'm really excited about it. So drop the word, click the link. I'll remind you later on. Okay, so let's get through this today. All right. Your Instagram profile is such a beautiful opportunity to tell people who you are, identify who it is that you work for and how you help them. And, it's a great opportunity to get people to click on the right links, to get them to take the right kind of actions, and to give people an overall idea of your brand and give them an opportunity to know you. And so there are going to be 4 areas that we're going to work on optimizing today. But before we get to the optimizing, I want to start with this tip. okay? Before you change anything, I want you to think about why you are using Instagram as a marketing tool for your studio and to identify like what are the goals that you want to achieve. And so as we go through some of these like potential goals, I would love for you to share like, yes, this is the type of goal that I want. Let me know what goal you want to hit, because then we can have a continued conversation around like how you specifically can optimize things. So we want to determine the goal because the goal is going to inform us what type of content and what type of changes you want to make to your profile. So here are some examples. Ready? Okay. You may want to be focused on, let's say, encouraging more engagement with your content. And by knowing that, one of the things, a couple of the things that we can do is make sure that we have very clear call to action in certain areas of your profile and certain parts of your highlights and pinned posts. I swear I'm going to explain all those in a minute. But we need to know that goal, right? So one of the goals would be encouraging more content engagement. Another goal would be to drive more website traffic, because Instagram is a great opportunity to drive people to your website, whether it's through using something like a landing page, like bio link special thing, we'll cover that too, or if it's just directly leading them to a specific page on your website. So driving more traffic website, great goal. The third goal could be something like you want to increase, let's say, new student inquiries. And if that is the case, then all of the little changes that you make and the things that we're learning today, you would want to ask yourself the question, is this change or is this type of content going to feed that goal? Is it going to help me increase new student inquiries? Is it going to drive more traffic to my website? Is it going to increase the number of people that are actually engaging with my content? And by engaging, I mean things like commenting on your stuff, liking your stuff, saving your stuff, etc. So for those who are watching, I'd love to know, of those 3 goals that I named right now, which, I know this is going to feel hard, pick one. What is your primary goal for using Instagram as a marketing platform? So again, going through them, it's increasing engagement with your content, it's driving more traffic to your website, or it's increasing the number of inquiries that you get. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Think about those goals. Share which one you think is your top goal down below. So now let's get to how are we going to optimize this stuff, right? Okay. Great. I see Karen is saying she wants to increase content engagement. Julie says website traffic. Right? Elizabeth says engagement. Laura says engagement. A lot of teachers, if you are full and you don't like necessarily need more inquiries, what you're going to be wanting to do there is, working towards getting more engagement. Good. I see like a lot of different focuses. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Okay. So now let's get to the first area that we're going to play around with, and we're going to do some fancy screen sharing. Fingers crossed, please, that this works. Okay. Our first area is that we are going to optimize your biography, your bio area, and your call to action. So what does that mean? On Instagram, there's a little bitty area, right? And I'm going to screen share and show you it. There's a little bitty area that is called your bio, and there are a few little things that we can alter inside of this. So they allow like a max of 150 characters, which really is not a lot. And if you use emojis or spaces or things like that, that character count adds up pretty quickly. So we want to use this area to really be able to communicate very clearly what we offer. So here's my first screen sharing. Drum roll, please, y'all, because I've worked on this, and I really hope this works. Here we go. Drum roll. Give me the thumbs up and give me the hearts. Let's see if it works. And it didn't work. Wait, why? Why isn't it working? Y'all. Let's try it again. My phone screen is attached, and boom, it works. Whew. Okay, so here is my Instagram profile, and I'm going to highlight a couple areas that I would love for you to think about as being important. And I wish that I had a little cursor that I could show you, but I'm going to just kind of go from the top to the bottom and show you the areas that we're looking at. Thank you, Cassandra, for the drum roll. Yes, exactly, Eden. Tech is so fun, said no one ever. All right, so let's take a look at this profile. Underneath my certainly profile picture is an important thing. I'm not going to go over that today. Underneath my profile, you can see one of the areas that you can optimize is you can actually list your name and give yourself like a title as part of your name. So that is like the first thing. You can see it says Sarah Campbell, business and marketing coach. So I chose that because I was trying to think of, okay, what are some of like the search terms that people might use? So an example for you all, right, of what like a music studio or a music teacher might use could be something like if you have, let's say you have a multi-teacher studio and your let's say okay, the music makers, okay, like a client of mine, Rebecca, she has, I would have something like the music makers, music lessons in, and then I would have the name of the town because those are nice search terms. And having those inside of your name will help you hit those search terms. And it also gives you more opportunities to actually write the bio area. So that's the first thing. By the way, you can only change your name like every 14 days. So be strategic about it. That's the first thing. The second thing is this area down below. Okay, see where the green heart is? It says strategy and marketing for independent music teachers and online ed experts. Next line says new video trainings every week. And then it says let's get savvy together. And it leads people to a call to action, which is my Linktree account. So this bio area, this is the area where you have exactly 150 characters. And this is the place that you really want to spend some time optimizing, okay? So a couple of things that you can consider here. I actually will suggest that everyone, when you edit this area, don't do it on your phone. You're going to edit it on desktop because the desktop option, when you just go to like Instagram.com, is going to allow you to edit it a little bit more clearly. So let me show you what that looks like. Fingers crossed, screen share happening in 3, 2, 1. It worked. Yay. Okay, so let me back up a step so you can see what this looks like. So all you have to do is go to Instagram.com, right? And then you're going to hit on your profile picture up at the top. And then that is going to open your profile. And then you're going to hit the edit profile button here. The reason I like to edit my profile, and you can expand this, see this little area here that's here? The reason I like to edit it here is because then you can actually do line breaks and it makes it easier to read. Otherwise, what would have happened is that this entire thing would have been smooshed into like a paragraph and it looks kind of awkward. Now, you're like, okay, I have 150 characters on the profile. If you're editing this on desktop or on your mobile, like it will count down the characters for you. But let's say you don't actually want to do it in here. I do have a tool that I think is really cool. If you go, write this down. I did not include it in the show notes. I apologize. Write this down. It's called charactercounter.com. And if you use that, charactercounter.com/Instagram, it actually shows you the number of, oh, poop, never mind. This is for the Instagram post. Just go to charactercounter.com. And then what you're going to be able to do is you can count the characters here. So let's say if I took, let's just say like marketing and strategy for music studio owners and online ed experts. And then look at this. Watch what happened. I have 58 letters and I already have 71 characters because it's counting all the spaces. So if you're not sure how many characters you have, you can always try something like charactercounter.com. So let's come on back to the Instagram profile here. So I actually like to edit all of these things directly from desktop, but you definitely can do this on the phone. I just find it easier here. This is where you can do all of the line breaks, all of that kind of stuff. All right, so let's stop that screen share. Wait, I can't find my thing. Come back here. All right, so that's our first step, right? Our first step is to optimize the profile and make sure that we're hitting all of those areas. There might be like a couple more areas that I haven't covered. Let me look back. Yes. Okay. So I would love to know, for those watching, show of hands, who feels like they need to revisit their Instagram profile now, right? I know that I did because that's actually what I did this last week. So let's come back to the iPhone and take a look at this. Okay. So we talked about you can change your name here to identify your title. And then your bio, we want to identify like what is it that you offer and who do you offer it for. So get really, really specific. Yay, Eden says she's doing it right now. Yes, multitasking. I love it. Linda says that she wants to optimize it. Okay, so we've talked about your name and your title. We've talked about what you can put in the bio. Then we want to make sure to put a clear call to action here. So here's my call to action. It says, let's get savvy together. And when we click on that, I'm using a link tree, and I'll explain what that means. When we click on that, this is taking people to a landing page. And I'll be honest, like this part, I actually want to optimize this part. I just haven't gotten to it. So you can drive people to wherever you want. You could use that call to action to lead people to your website. You could use that call to action to lead people to something like one of these smart link areas. There are so many different things that you can use. Like some of the options out there might be there's something called Tap Link. That's a nice one. Linktree, that's the one that I have here. I think Social Bio is another. Or you can, drive people to a landing page that is, something like that's made with your WordPress site if you want to get fancy. Let's not get there. So now, why am I using a landing page rather than driving people to my website? Because I want this to be like super mobile friendly, and I want people to have a variety of choices as to like what they want to do. Okay, so I'm leading people towards some of the ebook that we have, so they can purchase their ebook. They can learn about the services. They can get some of the free trainings, things like that. They can sign up for text notifications, read blog, join the email list. All of the call to actions are there. Now, let's say if I were to use, backing up for a second, your call to action will change depending on what's happening, right? So when I am in launch mode for Branding Bootcamp, the call to action there is to enroll in Branding Bootcamp. If I am putting out a new ebook, something like some new kind of a freebie or a lead magnet, that is going to be the call to action. So you can vary that throughout the year just depending on, circling back to the first idea, what is your goal, right? Okay, so there we go. So let's come back to screen sharing here. We have finished the first tip. Let's get to our second tip here. Let me make sure we went through everything there. Yes, okay. Second tip is, this is a lovely area, and this is the part that I'm super excited about, creating highlights. So highlights are something that I feel is actually highly underutilized on Instagram. I'm just getting my screen share ready again. And it is a fabulous opportunity for you to be able to show people what you do. And I will totally admit, I had totally ignored my highlights for a really long time. And I'm going to explain to you what highlights are and then give you a quick overview of how, what you can use them for. And I should say, this is the area that took me the longest to edit. But I feel like I've streamlined the process. And so on February 1st, I'm going to be running a workshop that shows people exactly how to do this, because it's too long of a process and too involved of a process to cover in one of our broadcasts. But the nice thing is that once you go through the process, it is basically a set it and forget it thing. And I won't have to update this for a while. And I'm really happy how this turned out. So let me screen share and show you what the heck I'm talking about. So a highlight allows us to, can't find the screen share again. Give me a moment. This camera switcher is like in my way. Here we go. All right. So back to the Instagram profile, which my phone just shut down. Okay. The Instagram profile here, the highlights that I'm talking about is under the buttons that you see, the thing that says edit profile, book now, and email. We see these little circles. We have 5 of them. Actually, there's 6 because there's one over here. Haven't decided what to do with that one yet. What we have at this point is we have different areas that people can click on to get a very quick idea of what it is like to work with me, like who I am, what I do, all that stuff. And so when I click, I'll just show you, right? So if we click on the About Me, some of you might have seen these highlights coming through last week. This is what we were working on. It leads you through like, hey, my name's Sara. Here's what I do. Here's what I love. I love solving problems. And, it leads you through a series of things here. and it has a clear call to action at the end. And here it is, because you deserve to love your business. Actually, there should be one more slide, but we haven't put it on yet. So that is an example of an about me highlight. So let's take a look at that. What could you do? Maybe it'd be about the studio. So if you're a multi-teacher studio, this would be an opportunity for you to have different highlights that are like, here's our guitar teacher, here's our flute teacher, here's our piano teacher, here's our voice teacher. If you are an independent music studio, you could use that highlight to maybe like show pictures of what is inside of your studio, or talk about like what are some of the things that you what are some of the different services that you offer. Cassandra's like, yay, I need to make one like that. Yeah, exactly. Yes. See, Lisa, that's great. The idea to group photo, use group class photos as a highlight section. Perfect, right? And that, Lisa, like that comes back to the idea of the goals. So if one of your goals is to increase the number of students that are in group lessons, then that's definitely an area that you want to highlight. So the highlights that I chose, I have things like about me. I've got business tips. I have a work with me section that goes through all of the services that we provide. And I have a section for freebies and broadcasts. Prior to this, yes, exactly. See, Christine, prior to this, all of my highlights were completely random. And some of them were legit like 96 weeks old. So what I like about this area is that you get to choose what you're going to put here. So I'll go through like a couple of ideas. We have about us. You could have a highlight that is about lessons and services. You could have a highlight that is about our studio, maybe like walking through like what it's like to be inside of your studio. Super cool idea. You could have little tiny short videos of you like walking through the door and saying hi to people and all that. I mean, it'd just be really cool. The whole concept behind this, and why I feel like this is such an underutilized thing that we really need to pay attention to, is because when we craft highlights that are attractive looking and have like calls to action here, then it's this beautiful opportunity to give people a really clear idea of what it's like to be in your space, and who you are as a human, who you are as a teacher. And I think it's just this beautiful opportunity. Some other areas that you might want to consider, you could have, let's say, a highlight that has like, I had two ideas for this. Student wins. That could be nice, right? You could also name it something like testimonials. That's actually one of the highlights that we haven't put together yet. So that's going to be later on in Q1. If you are somebody who has freebies, that could be something that you put together. So I'll like highlight some of the freebies that we put together here. We put our ebook on there. We are actually able then to create links that are clickable. So if you click on these links, it will actually take you to where you can download the things. Ta-da! Right? So it has all of these clickable links, and I'm not going to go over the specifics of that today because there's too many steps involved to explain, and I'm already going kind of long. So this gives you an idea of some of the highlights. Yeah, isn't that kind of fun, Julie? If those of you who follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed in the past week and a half, you saw me doing a lot of stories. And that's how we created those highlights. Highlights are basically what they are is it is a category of stories that you've created. And you can add these cool little cover photos to it, yada, yada. Okay, let's keep going because I don't want to go too long today. If you think that you probably need to start creating great highlights, let me know. And if you feel like you would want some assistance with that, the workshop that we're going to be doing, it's $29 this week. And the price will probably go up next week. It's $29. We have like a max of, I think, 20 teachers for this first round. I may run it a second round. We're going to lead you step by step through how to identify which, what should be in your highlights depending on your specific goals for your studio. So we're going to walk you through that process. I'm going to show you how we wrote the content for those highlights, how we created the highlights inside of Canva. It was super duper easy. And then how you actually go about uploading the stories, choosing the highlights, and putting them in the right order, because it's kind of a process. Yeah. Brandon, to answer your question, is there a limit to how many highlights you can have? No, but something to consider is that There's only 5 of them that show across the screen, and if you have more than 5 people have to scroll. So I am trying to, at Savvy, I'm trying to choose to have 5, maybe a maximum of 6. Okay, and if you want to get a hold of information about that workshop, if you're curious and you want to see, drop the word optimize down below, or YouTubers, click the link that is that is pinned to the top of the live chat, and you can get a hold of that. I'm very excited to run that workshop. Okay, let's move on to the third area that you're going to optimize, and this is so easy. I love it. All right, the third area that you're going to optimize is the area that we call our pinned posts, and this is something that was added, I want to say like August for me. This was something that was added to most Instagram accounts, and we have the opportunity to add some pinned posts to the top of our accounts so that we can put the most important / most popular / most engaging content to the top. So let me give you an idea of what this looks like. I'm coming back. Here we go. Yay. Oh, side note, because I forgot to mention it, you actually have to do all the editing of your highlights on your phone, which is kind of why it's a pain in the butt. But it is what it is. So let me come back here. Sorry. I can't see things on my screen. Give me a moment. Okay. There we go. Now I can see things. All right. So the pin posts, you can see the top 3 posts that I have here. They have that little white pin inside of it. And so to pin a post, I chose these based on what are some of the posts that were most engaged with in the last like 3 months. And so if you're not sure how to do that, one of the things that you can do is you can go to your professional dashboard. By PS, if you don't have a professional account or a business account on Instagram, I highly suggest it. And you can like click on see all insights, and then you can look at the content that you've shared recently, and then select content that is the most engaged with. It is not. Yeah, there we go. So I would probably look at something like, okay, let's say in the last 3 months, what are the top engaged pieces of content? And then you can select from that, or you can think about what are the things that I really want people to see. So right now, the pinned posts that we have are what trees teach us about running business, which opens up into a carousel, right? And we also have 3 tips to get found in online searches. This post is consistently getting engagement, and so that's why I decided to keep this here. And then the third one, I chose one that was a little controversial, but it has 80 likes on it, and it had, it started some good conversations. So choosing your pinned posts at the top, I do suggest that you revisit this occasionally so that, let's say that maybe you have an event coming up, right? Oh, let me show you real quick how to pin a post. Okay, so you select your post. You're going to click the 3 dots up at the top. And then there is a button here that says pin to your profile. I'm not going to hit it because I don't want to unpin my other ones. You can only pin 3 posts. Okay, let me come back here. So with the pinned post area, let's say that you had like a Christmas concert coming up and you decided to pin some of the information about the Christmas concert there. Or let's say that you had a summer camp that was happening. That would be a great opportunity to pin that post and make sure that that's front and center so that people can get that information. Just make sure to go back through and occasionally edit your pinned posts so that you don't have irrelevant information at the top of your profile. Okay, there you go. Yes, takeaway. Think about what I really want people to see. I love that, Cassandra. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's continue on to point number 4. Then we'll do our quick recap here. This is a bonus tip for you today. It really doesn't have anything to do with your profile, although it could. This tip is to know your hashtags. And hashtags are really important on Instagram. What they do is that they help new followers find you in searches or to see you in the news feed. So I suggest that all of the posts that you make include hashtags. Right now, I am suggesting between like 8 and 11 hashtags per post. And you want to choose a combination of, maybe general hashtags. A general one might be, let's say, hashtag voice lessons, right? Or hashtag singing teacher. Then you want like maybe some more specific hashtags. Let's say that you make a post about a student singing something from Matilda the musical. Maybe you have a hashtag around that. And then I also suggest that you use location-based hashtags, especially if you are a local studio. and you are trying to get more local traffic. So then you want to look at, what are some of the location-based hashtags that we can use in our studio. And if you're not sure, look at some of the other local businesses that are active on Instagram and check out what kind of hashtags they're using. I've worked with one-on-one with clients when we did like a marketing audit for them, and part of that is looking at what they're doing in terms of their online marketing and their Instagram marketing. And what we did is we would go through and get really specific about, here are the different types of hashtags that you're going to use. We created groups for them, and now they have a really simple way of grabbing those hashtags, whether they're on their phone or on their desktop, and they are able to use them. If anybody ever wants one-on-one help with that kind of marketing, I do have services where we can get together and run a marketing audit for you. Okay, so that concludes all of the tips here today. We're going to do a fast recap of all the things, but before we do that, I want to remind you all, the Instagram Highlights Workshop is going to be on February 1st. We will not have a broadcast that day. It will happen at 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday during our regular broadcast. And during this workshop, you will be able to join me on Zoom. I will walk you through step by step. I'll be asking the questions. You'll be answering them. We're going to get like all of your goals in line for what is your marketing goal for Instagram. We're going to walk through how you're going to write that content. I'm going to walk you through how to create it on Canva and how to actually schedule things and get it all in order so that once you're done, you're done. And we will have a little PDF to give you as well that's going to detail some of the steps that are kind of tricky. So if you want to get a hold of that, that is going to be on February 1st, and it is $29, and there are 20 spots. So if you do want to get a hold of that, put the word optimize down below, and you will get information about how to join the workshop. Excellent. Great. So let's get to this. We'll do a couple more takeaways. Cassandra says, really think about what people want to see. Know my hashtag and include 8 to 10, 8 to 11, something like that. Hey, this is, by the way, this is 2023, and that may change later on. So yes. Okay, so yay. Susan says she's so excited for the Highlights Workshop. Excellent. Yes, Karen, it will be during our regular time. All of that information will be inside of the link once you drop the word optimize down below, or you can click on the link if you're on YouTube. All right, for those of you who tuned in a little late, we are going to do a rapid recap of everything that we've talked about today. I am not going to do screen sharing during this recap because I think that will be overwhelming. Okay, so here we go. Let's try that again. I don't want the beginning like that. That's so silly. Platforms change kind of quickly, and while I believe you don't have to follow all of the changes and all of the trends, I do want to cover 4 little things that will help you optimize your Instagram profile for 2023. And here they are. Let's get to it. So the first thing that I want you to think of before you optimize anything or change anything on your profile, I want you to ask yourself, what is my goal for using Instagram? Why am I using Instagram as a marketing platform for my business? And so identify, like, do you want to increase engagement? Do you want to drive more website traffic? Do you want to get more student inquiries? This is going to inform you as to which changes you need to make and what type of content you want to create. The first area that I want you to optimize is your bio. And that is what happens when you go over to your profile and you look. You have several different areas underneath your profile picture, including things like, what is your title? We can use the title in creative ways to express what we do as business owners. Also, the bio area, you only have 150 characters, so you need to use those wisely. One of the things that I suggest is actually editing your bio from desktop instead of mobile, because you have more control over what you do there and you can put line breaks in your bio. If you're not sure what that looks like, look at my bio here and you'll see a good example. Inside that bio, you also want to make sure that you have a clear call to action that is leading people to doing something, whether that is going to your website, opening up some type of a landing page like Linktree or Social Bio or Tap Link, or if it's just sending you a DM. Make the call to action very clear. What do you want them to do? The second area that you can optimize in your profile is to create great highlights. People often ignore this part of their profile, and I think it's a really important part to pay attention to. The highlights give us an opportunity to share and highlight different stories that you've created in your profile. So you could have an area that's like about my studio, about the teacher, lessons offered, student wins, testimonials, studio tour. You can have all kinds of different things there, and you can create engaging looking covers so that when people go to your profile and they see all of these options to learn about you, they're going to click on them. The third area that I want you to think about optimizing are your pinned posts. At the top of your Instagram profile, you have 3 posts that you can choose to pin there. So choose those wisely. If you have time-sensitive things that are going on in your studio, you will want to pick something that expresses that. So if you are trying to push your summer camps, make sure that your pin posts are dealing with your summer camps. If you have a piece of content that was really, really popular and you want to make sure that people see that first, pin that into the top 3 pins. Finally, here's a little bonus tip for you. To optimize your profile, know your hashtags. Make sure that you are using a variety of hashtags, things that are generalized, things like hashtag voice lessons, things that are more specialized, like hashtag Matilda the musical or whatever might actually deal with the post that you're making. And use, if you are a local studio and you are trying to drive local traffic, use location-based hashtags so that you are more likely to show up in searches and in the newsfeed for people who follow those hashtags. All right, those are the tips here. I am going to be running an Instagram workshop where I'm going to guide you through exactly how to do all of the highlight magic. And it's going to be on February 2nd. So if you're watching this before February 2nd and you want to get a hold of the information about that workshop, you're going to drop the word optimize down below, and the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you and give you information about that workshop. It's $29. It's going to be an hour and a half, and you're going to get a little PDF. You're going to be able to walk through all of the steps to make your highlights look amazing, and I will be there to answer your questions. All right, that is it for today. Whew! It was a bit of a long broadcast. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or you would like to look back at what we did on the screen sharing, go check out our YouTube channel or go check out our Facebook page. And that's where you can see all of the details that we went through in this broadcast today. And I will see you all next week. In the meantime, stay savvy and stay you, because you are an amazing teacher and there's no one in the world quite like you. And I think you are pretty dang awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Outro video.